going on, guys? We're sitting here on GOS El Rayak, a 20 by 20 map that's pretty well made, and we're going to be going over how to do some artillery. So you can see I already played around with this a little bit and set up a few stuff, but the goal for today is to set up an artillery based off of a trigger. If you guys remember my previous video, we had some IEDs set on triggers, so this is another cool thing you can do. So we have our little artillery here. I also like the recent update to Armor 3. It actually shows you pictures of the different unit types, what they're going to look like now. But go ahead and place down our artillery position. Obviously, you can also put down, more time pertinent artillery pieces. For example, RHS has a few good pieces that are somewhere in here. But for right now, we're just going to use the default vanilla artillery pieces. So what you do is you need to name this guy so that you can use him in further triggers. We have 3 other artillery pieces. This is going to be artillery piece number 3. And then you come over to where you want the artillery to be, and we're going to be artillerying this town. You can see that there are a lot of enemy troops here. And we set up a trigger. And this trigger just puts in this code, artillery1, doArtilleryFire. So just telling the artillery fire. And it's going to fire at the position of the marker position. So it gets the position of wherever you place that marker, and then it fires these shells, 32 round, 155 millimeter, and it fires 32 of them. So we need to do that for the one that we just placed down, and open that back up. Come in here, and we can just copy and paste all that. Copy and paste it, change it to artillery 3, and we're going to change this to artillery target 3. So all 3 of these artilleries are going to be firing at different locations. We can see that we have this empty target marker here. That's artillery target number 1. Then we have artillery target number 2. That is right there. And we're going to go into our markers and place down another empty system marker right here in the center. And we're going to name this guy artillery. What do we name the previous ones? Got to make sure it's RD target 1. So RD target 3. And then hit OK. And so this trigger is set to whenever op4 is present. There's a lot of other great options you can do. For example, if they're only detected by blue 4, if they're detected by op4. So that means that, if you have blue 4 guys in this town and they're not detected, you can set it so that once they become detected by the op4, that'll trigger the trigger, and then artillery will come down. So, you don't want, random artillery just hitting you without, any enemy calling it in or, having eyes on you. That's just kind of weird and funky if they're just shooting random artillery at bases or, cities like that. So without further ado, let's hop into the scenario and check it out. It's probably take them a good, 40 seconds to a minute for those rounds to come down. Oh, actually didn't see. Oh, there's one round right up there. See, this town is just getting shelled by artillery. Also notice that the rounds coming down are not exactly on the mark, so every time the round hits, it's going to be slightly offset. But the general area of wherever you put that marker is going to get shelled pretty hard, so if there's any friendlies or any enemy there, they're not going to survive very long. This is also something you probably don't want to do in a large multiplayer game, because having a lot of destroyed buildings like this causes a lot of lag. But for purposes of today, it's kind of nice to be able to just blow up an entire town. Obviously, you could also do this with rocket artillery. And it would have even more destructive capabilities. Over here, it's a nice demonstration of the different rounds that came down and the spacing and dispersion of those rounds. And we actually killed quite a bit of op4 with these. All these guys are dead. A little bit of overkill. Alright, so next we're going to be showing off how to call in supports for yourself. So if we go over to our systems, which was previously called modules, go into our supports, and do a support requester. And then let's do a virtual artillery. You want to make sure that your virtual artillery is somewhere close to whatever your target's going to be, because it does have a limited range depending on what type of artillery you're calling in. And we want to go into our support requester and turn up our artillery limit. Let's put it up to 10. There's other supports that we could be doing called cast bombing, helicopter cast runs, supply drops, helicopter transports, UAV recons, but for now we're just going to do the artillery limit. All the other ones work pretty much the same. And we're going to sync this guy by hitting connect to our player. You can sync this to multiple players so that multiple players have the option of using it. And we're going to sync it to the virtual artillery. We'll go ahead and test that out. Alright, you can see at the top left-hand part of the screen there that I now have that artillery symbol, meaning that I have CAS available. We're just going to go and open up our menu, hitting the tilde key, hit reply, go down to number 8 and hit supports, and then artillery strike. We're going to put it over this ATC tower. And we're going to use the MK6 mortars. Notice that the Sholefs are also there that I was previously using. And we're going to use all of our mortar shells, a whole 8 of them. So you can hear those rounds firing because they're actually firing wherever that virtual arsenal was placed. You don't see where they're firing, but that's where they're coming from. There's our first round. See, there's a little bit of dispersion on those rounds. I kind of wish there was a little bit more, but it gets the job done. And anyone in that tower is definitely shitting their pants right now. Alright, so if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe for future stuff. If you guys want to know something else, or if there's something that I haven't covered in my previous videos that you're like, I really want to know how to do this, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try to get that done for you guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys later.